What is up? Welcome in Seth Floyd Show. 2 days in a row. You're so lucky. Bonus episode this week. Yesterday I published posted a video about the Niners schedule. How can they get to 10 wins? I marked out what the likely games they could win, what the toss-up games are, things like that if you're interested. I love that kind of thing. It's a puzzle to me. Mathematically, they've got to find a way to get to 10 wins this year. Go watch that video if you haven't yet. But tonight, Wednesday night, I am previewing Week 3, 49ers, hosting the Cardinals, home opener. Real quick, if you're new here, please subscribe. Get me to 400 subscribers. Trying to march our way to 500 subscribers by the end of football season. Every single subscription helps, so thank you. This is the second time I'm recording this video, guys. I recorded earlier today in the afternoon, and my phone overheated because it's Texas heat. I'm in my garage. No AC in my garage, so it overheated and I couldn't use that video. It didn't work. Only half of it recorded. So anyway, this is round 2. Decided to bring some water out tonight because it's pretty hot in here. 49ers hosting the Cardinals, okay, and it's a big game. This is a really a great measuring stick game to me, okay. 49ers favored by 1.5 last time I checked on DraftKings. Okay, I wonder if that line's going to change though once we get a definitive answer on Brock Purdy. Because I got news for you, 49er fans. If you haven't seen today, most of you have, I'm sure. Brock Purdy limited practice today. Not only that, I saw some of the videos. I mean, they post. Matt Barrows posted a couple videos. Of Purdy throwing and then jogging from one place to another, and I know that's not that's not everything. Like, he's got to be able to really push off that toe, but it is only Wednesday. He looked normal. He wasn't hobbling around, nothing. Like, it looked like normal practice for Brock. I know it wasn't the full thing, but he looked good, and it's only Wednesday. And so Kyle Shanahan said before practice, he said, yes, Brock has a chance to play, to start, and he also could end up being the backup quarterback to Mac Jones if they don't feel, quite ready yet, which would be also a good scenario to have. Because even if Mac doesn't get hurt, but if he's playing terrible, like, you could throw Purdy in there and try to get a spark. But really good news on the injury front, especially when I was told he's going to be out past the Rams game or whatever stuff. And Adam Schefter's tweet. Did anyone see that over this weekend? He tweeted out Sunday morning, like, all we'd heard was it was a 2 to 5 week injury. And then Adam Schefter tweets out something about how the 49ers aren't optimistic that he will play against the Cardinals. And I thought it was a funny way to put it. Instead of saying, despite early reports that it was going to be 2 weeks, there's a slight chance Brock could play in Week 3, even if it's not likely, or something like that. But he clearly took the negative approach to it by throwing out there the 49ers are not optimistic that Brock will play next week. But the original report was he was never going to play next week. So that feels like optimistic news or an optimistic update to me, but whatever. I'm nitpicky. I just think people do stuff for clicks. So anyway, if Brock is in, I imagine that line goes to 2.5, 3. I don't know if you care about that, but I think the Cardinals are an interesting team. One, it's a division game, and you can't ever take division games lightly, and the Cardinals are not bad, and the NFC West is in that there's only one division that has at least 2 undefeated teams in it right now through Week 2, and it's the NFC West, and they have 3, and the Cardinals are one of them. And I think this is I think it's interesting. The NFC West, you could argue, maybe not. Maybe the AFC West is the best division, but the Broncos haven't looked amazing. Sorry, Shaq Nums. The Raiders looked pretty clueless. You could say the NFC North, fine, but I think there's an argument to be made that the NFC West has the most quality teams. They're the most competitive division. Because I don't think there's any top-heavy teams in here. I don't know what you think of the Rams. Maybe the Rams, people view them as a Super Bowl contender. I don't know if I'm there, but maybe. I'm still not sold that the 49ers are a true Super Bowl contender, but I think the Rams, I think the 49ers are a playoff team. I think Seattle, I said last week, I think they're a playoff team. And the Cardinals, man, like they could be too. You just don't know. I'm hesitant with the Cardinals because I've seen this with Kyler Murray, especially with this coaching staff. This is their third year, I think. Like, Kyler is as dangerous on a game-to-game basis as almost any quarterback in the league, but I don't trust Kyler for 17 games. I don't trust him to be able to do it. His best season was with Cliff Kingsbury. They started 8-0, 9-0 back in 2020, and then it really fell off in the second half of the season. They made the playoffs, but they weren't even competitive in that playoff game against the Rams, and they haven't shown any of that since Gannon has been the coach there. So whatever. My point is the Cardinals are as scary of a team as anybody, especially if they play in your division. And no, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. If I had to guess, I don't think the Cardinals are going to make the playoffs. But I also think the Cardinals on any given Sunday, if Kyler plays like Kyler is capable of, can beat literally anyone in the NFL. I believe that. I think they have a lot of weapons on offense. I think they have a very stout defense. Okay, and I think Kyler, when Kyler is at his best, he is very hard to stop. So I think on any given Sunday, they can beat the Bills, they could beat the Ravens, they could beat the Packers, they could beat the 49ers, they could beat the Rams. I just don't trust them to consistently play at a high enough level to go to the next level, and it starts with Kyler. I think Kyler is beatable. Is that the right word? Well, he's definitely beatable. I think Kyler doesn't play to his standard all the time, for whatever reason. Through his whole career, you just kind of don't know what you're getting from him. Tell me if I'm wrong, Cardinals fans. This is not shade. This is like supposed to pump you guys up. And I imagine you're all kind of on the same page with me, and you wish Kyler would do it every single week. Because I just don't think he does it. I don't think he does it. But that doesn't make me feel any better, other than I hope he has a bad game against us. Because if he has a really good game against us, it's scary. It's scary. I've seen how this goes. So that's where I'm at with the Cardinals, okay? I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game. Here are a few of my keys to the game. 2 on offense, 2 on defense. The original video that I recorded earlier before I really knew Brock Purdy started with Mac Jones, but it still applies. It still applies. Whoever's playing quarterback, this is my first key for the offense. Whoever's playing quarterback, can we limit the turnovers? Can we stop the turnovers? Brock had 2 really bad picks against Seattle. I mean, the first one, like, we could debate. The second one is no excuse. Brock's just trying to make a play. He's gotten much looser with the football since 2023, and I don't like that. Can he reel it in? Mac, I mean, he had the one fumble, but, like, I think Mac is a backup quarterback for a reason. I think he's like a borderline starting quarterback if he's in a good situation, but I don't think he's on Purdy's level. Part of the reason I think Mac is a backup quarterback to bridge quarterback kind of caliber player is because can you do it week in and week out? And I think Mac Jones is prone to turn the football over. So I don't blame that fumble he had against the Saints. It's not on him. I think the defensive player just made a heck of a play, that defensive end. But like, if you let Mac play long enough, I think he's going to have a dumpster fire game. That's just me. So whoever's in at quarterback, can we please just limit the turnovers? We know what happened last year, okay? Last year against the Cardinals, it was week 5, I think, and that was the game where I felt like the Niners were in trouble. Before that, I'd kind of talked to myself like, okay, weird things happen. Minnesota is a tough place to play. That defense is great. The Rams, you let one get away from you, but that's not who you are. And then you do it again against the Cardinals, and it was like, oh, we're in real trouble, especially because we were playing at home. You were up 10 in the first half, but you had stupid fumble by Jordan Mason. You had the Brock Purdy hit and interception on that last drive. Our kicker got hurt. It just was a disgusting, ugly game. But the turnovers are what I remember, especially that Jordan Mason fumble. Like, can the offense, and specifically the quarterback, protect the football in this game? We'll see. That's going to be key. That's going to be huge. I think if you play a clean game on offense and don't turn the ball over, you're at home opener, you're in the throwback whites, you feel good, you have a lot of young energy. Something you haven't had, you didn't really have it in 2023. Maybe you had some of it in 2023. You definitely didn't have it last year. There are a lot of positive vibes. This team feels different. than teams in the past. They are not as good as the 2023 team yet. I guess they could develop into that before the end of the year. I don't know, whatever. But this young core of guys that they've drafted last year and this year is bringing a new fire, a new tenacity to pair with these older, proven all-pros. Like, I love it. I love it. So, protect the football, play like your hair is on fire, and on offense and defense, and I feel really good. I think they have a stout defense, but I think the Niners are going to be in the driver's seat if they can protect the football. Hopefully Brock plays, but I think you've got a chance if Mac Jones plays. The second point on offense, the second thing that I'm looking for is, can they run the football in the red zone? Through 2 weeks, we have 5 red zone touchdowns. Is it 5? We have 4 red zone touchdowns. Sorry, we have 5 total touchdowns on the year. 4 red zone touchdowns. All of them are throwing. All of them are passing. We do not have a single rushing touchdown yet, which is weird for a Kyle Shanahan offense. You're 2-0, so who cares? But we know that throwing the football is just less sustainable than if you can consistently run the football. Again, I will revert back to that 2023 team that was so freaking devastating. They were so good because they could run the ball, and they could run the ball in the red zone. It didn't matter. Defense would tighten up inside the 20, and it just didn't matter. They would chip away and still pick up 4 or 5 yards a pop and find the end zone. McCaffrey scored like 23 touchdowns, and like 17 or 18 of them were rushing touchdowns. Like, it was so devastating, and that's not this team yet. And they're not going to be that team, I don't think. But can we get a little more? Can we get a little more? And I'm sure a lot of it has to do people studying that 2023 film. You saw it last year. Defenses tightened up against the 49ers. This year they're doing the same. They're stacking the box, and Darren Shanahan to throw it more, which is it's smart football. If I was a defensive coach playing Kyle Shanahan, I would be selling out to stop the run and just trying to pressure the quarterback and forcing them to throw it, because the Niners don't have a Josh Allen, don't have a Lamar Jackson. That's not supposed to be offensive, 49er fans. It's just control. I love Brock Purdy. I think he's a top 10 guy, but I don't think he's a top 3 guy. And so if you don't have a top 3 guy, if you don't have one of those guys, there's Mahomes, Allen, Lamar Jackson, Burrow, or Herbert's looking like that too. If you don't have one of those guys, you try to force him to throw, and he's going to make some plays, he's going to gash you, but you feel like he's not going to make enough plays with pressure in his face. So whatever, I'm getting off topic. I'm just saying, can the 49ers just run the ball a little more effectively in the red zone? Can they finish off a couple drives with Christian McCaffrey or Brian Robinson? Can Jordan James get a couple touches? I'd love to see Jordan James get a couple touches this week, but we'll see. But I think that is crucial for them being able to sustain success throughout the year and close out games and finish games, because I don't know how long you can keep just continuing to throw the ball when you're inside the 10. It's hard to throw the ball inside the 20. And especially when you get inside the 10 and it's first and goal, it's hard because it gets so congested. They've had success so far. Can they continue that success, and can they add in the run game? Arizona's injury report came out today. They have 3 corners that are hurt. One got placed on IR. I think another one was limited in practice. I know Will Johnson, their second-round pick, who's been really good so far, he didn't practice today. I don't know what that means going forward. He probably will play still. I don't know. I honestly don't know anything about it. Hopefully, as a 49er fan, I hope he doesn't play, because I think he's a good player. So maybe they'll keep attacking it, but I think Shanahan needs to go in looking to establish the run. Now the defense. I want to say this before. I think this season, the story of this season is, the 2025 49ers will go as far as the defense takes them. The 2025 San Francisco 49ers, their ceiling will be based on how much this defense develops, how good the defense plays down the stretch. In 2023, it was the offense. The offense was amazing. It masked a lot of the issues that the 49ers had on defense, mainly stopping the run, which you saw in the playoffs. The Packers and the Lions, they tightened up a lot against the Chiefs' run game, but the Chiefs don't have like a devastating run game. Anyway, it masked those defensive woes they had along the defensive line because they were always winning. So these teams didn't feel like they could stay committed to the run, even though that's how you should have attacked that defense. Well, this year's the opposite, okay? I think the offense is still good, and as we get healthier, they'll be good. They'll be fine, and probably still be a top 10 offense, probably. But the team is going to go as far as this defense will take them, as far as their ceiling goes. And so I need these guys to continue flying around, which is going to take me to my first point, okay? The first thing I'm looking for on the defensive side of the ball is Michael Williams and Alfred Collins specifically. Really all the rookies that have been getting playing time, but Alfred Collins, Michael Williams, can they continue to develop? We saw in week 1, neither of them did a whole lot. It was Michael Williams' first ever action play in the preseason at all. Alfred Collins missed spring in training camp, wasn't great. Preseason wasn't great, and we all started kind of going, is this like a terrible pick? But then in week 2, we saw it progress. We saw Michael Williams start to feast, and that's great because all it took was one game to feel better about him and see his impact. Like not just like, okay, did his job, didn't make any mistakes. Like no, had real impact, a plus player who is devastating and making tackles in the backfield. Did it a couple times and was great. Looks like a grown man out there. Can he build on that? And I'll tell you this, I do not care if this dude has 2 sacks all season, 3 sacks all season. I do not care. I know that ESPN and I've heard a few national media guys talk about how like, oh, you use this pick on this pass rusher and he's not going to he doesn't look like a good pass rusher. Guys, they didn't draft him to be a pass rusher. That's not why they drafted him. They drafted him to stop the run. They drafted him to do what he did to Alvin Kamara on that play where the tight end is lined up over him. He with one arm is grown man moving this guy back and then wrangling down Alvin Kamara 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That is why they drafted him. As long as he keeps doing that, I'm not worried about the sacks. I honestly don't care that much. And in fact, you want to talk about pass rush, that sack on the second to last possession where Nick Bosa got his sack. If you watch the breakdown, people are showing you like that sack almost belongs to Michael Williams as much as it does Nick Bosa. He rushed from the inside on the same side as Bosa and just shoved that guard back into Spencer Rattler's grill. And as he tried to escape, Bosa was able to make the tackle. But like, I don't care about sacks with Michael Williams. It'd be great. I would love him to have 10 sacks. I don't care. What I care about is that the run defense plays well and then he gets some push in the pass rush to make people uncomfortable, which is exactly what he did. So I'm looking for Michael Williams to keep that going. I would love that. I'm not saying he shouldn't be effective in the pass game. I'm just saying what I care most about is the run game, defending it, and then, get some pressure in the face. That'd be great. But Alfred Collins, I want to talk about him real quick. If you don't know, like, Alfred Collins, his position, what he is asked to do, he is not going to show up on the stat sheet. Not like one of the edge guys. Not like, I don't know, unless your name is Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, like you are not going to show up on the stat sheet like you might want him to. Because what his job is to eat up double teams. That is his job. He's not a great interior pass rusher. That's fine. His job, he was drafted to eat up double teams. How do you eat up a double team? Well, you have to anchor yourself down. You have to be a big man. You have to be a big human being first. That's why you draft a guy like Alfred Collins. You have to anchor down and not get blown off the ball. If you get blown off the ball, what happens is that double team turns into the guard peels off and goes and attacks one of your linebackers. So they're like this, and then he peels off and gets a linebacker, and now it's 2v2, and your running back has all this room. How you be a good 3-tech, like what Alfred Collins is supposed to do, is you eat up that double team so this guard cannot peel off, and now you have D Winters and you have Fred Warner run around like got their hair on fire. And they eat all the tackles. And they get all the stats and all the praise, but then in the meeting room, Chris Kasurik and Robert Saleh are flipping their lid in a good way because Alfred Collins ate up the double team so that the linebackers could run around. That is like basic defensive scheme, defensive technique football. Like anchor down, eat up the double team, don't get blown off the ball, just hold your ground. Even if you don't get penetration, hold your ground at the line of scrimmage. You're a big human being. Use your leg strength. Get these guys off you and use your hands so that they cannot go get the linebackers. Anyway, Alfred Collins did not do a great job of that against Seattle. He only played 9 snaps against Seattle. Against the Saints, he had 24 snaps, and there are multiple clips of him splitting double teams and at least taking on the double teams in a very positive way, which is good. So I need to see him build on that. D. Winters, can you build on your hot start? Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't hit people on the sideline. Upton Stout played really well against the Saints. Had a couple plays you don't love. He had a bad play against Seattle, bad penalty against Seattle. Had kind of a phantom call against the Saints, but can he keep flying around and making plays? Marquise Sigel, not a great game against the Saints. Can he bounce back? These young guys that we're relying on, can they bounce back and do something? That's the first thing I'm watching. And then the second thing, which really is the most important thing, and that's Kyler Murray. What does this team do to stop Kyler Murray? I'll tell you what they do. I'll tell you what the verbiage is, what the term is. I said it last year when we played the Cardinals in my preview video, is the mush rush. You have to have a good mush rush. Now, normally, if you have a quarterback that's a statue back there that doesn't run very well, and I'm not even like against Purdy, you're not using a mush rush. He's very good and can escape the pocket. But you're not worried about Purdy's legs like you are Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson or whatever. There's only a handful of guys I can't even think of any other that I would be that worried about. Maybe Josh Allen a little bit, but he's like a different animal. He's a freak. He's so big. Maybe Baker, like you want a little bit of this with Baker. But anyway, normal quarterbacks, pocket quarterbacks, you just get after it because you don't think they're going to burn you with their legs. But with a quarterback like Kyler or Lamar Jackson, you have to slowly collapse this pocket. If you get too far upfield and get out of your rush lanes, okay, you open up lanes for him to run, and that's where he gashes you. And it's not always like running and rushing and getting, it's 3rd and 10 and he scrambles for 15 yards. Like that's probably going to happen because that's what Kyler does. But that's not even what I'm talking about. Kyler will kill you by throwing on the run as well. If you let him get out of the pocket and let a receiver break free, like he can put it on him. The key to winning this game, or the key to doing well on defense, is you have to keep Kyler in the pocket, that mush rush, and force him to throw from the pocket. If you can force him to throw from the pocket and it's not his first read, because if it's his first read and he's open, then you're going to lose no matter what, okay? You have success against guys like this if you can take away the first look and then force him to stay in the pocket after that. Because then it's a timing thing and you don't know where everybody is because things have been happening in the play. And that's like the Brock Purdy superpower that we talk about is like Brock, if his first look isn't there, he just processes, he knows to go to a second progression, he knows where guys are. Like that's his superpower. Superpower isn't escaping the pocket. He's not overly fast, overly athletic, doesn't have the strongest arm, but he just is so good in the pocket. Well, Kyler's like, he's just a different quarterback. I'm not saying anything you don't know. I'm just kind of laying it out. Keep him in the pocket. Make him throw that football from the pocket. If you can do that, I think you could have some real success. A third, like, honorable mention, okay? And I swear this is the same exact thing I said last year when we were about to play the Cardinals. James Conner. Can you please tackle the guy? James Conner, if he didn't play for the Cardinals, would be one of my favorite players in the NFL. Getting older, he might be 30 now, and just still doing it. Just a true blue-collar running back, tough, hit you in the face kind of running back. He's great. He's a classic, it's 2nd and 10, they're going to hand the ball off. It looks like he's about to be tackled at the line of scrimmage, and then guys didn't wrap up or gang tackle, and now James Conner slipped free and gained 6 yards. So instead of it being 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 11, it's 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4. And that kills you. Those are backbreakers, okay? You need to rally to the football. It needs to be a party at the football for the defense every time anybody has the ball, but James Conner especially, and wrap up and be violent when you get there and get him on the ground. Because those runs are so frustrating watching guys bounce off him. He keeps his legs going, and you just feel like you have no answer to what you're supposed to do. I do feel good about the Niners in this game. I think that I think we know what the Cardinals are. I think they're very similar to what they've been these last few years. Really tough. Could be literally. I don't think every team can beat any team on any given Sunday, but I do think the Cardinals can literally beat anybody on any given Sunday, depending on which Kyler Murray shows up. That being said, I think 49ers home opener. The energy around this team is good. It's much different than it was last year. And it's much younger than it was last year and the year before. There's a lot of good things brewing. If they can protect the football on offense, let's get that run game going. Can we keep Kyler in the pocket? I think they have a real good chance here. I'd love to see this be a multi-score game. I don't think it will. I think we're in for another nail biter like we were these last 2 weeks. My official prediction, I'm going to say 24-21, your 49ers, Eddie De Niro hitting a game winner walk-off field goal from, let's say, 45 yards out, okay, to ice it to move to 3-0, which would be fantastic. If you can get to 3-0 and you have Jacksonville traveling, coming to you the following week with the chance to go 4-0 before you have to hit this hard part of your schedule, man, it's good. They're setting themselves up, but it's one game at a time, 1 week at a time, okay? I'm excited. There's just talks, like Nick Bosa talked in the locker room today. He said they had their defensive meeting like before each week. You hit the field, you kind of talk. You'll have meetings, talk about your game plan and the things that are important to think about this week at practice and stuff. And Nick said he's real excited about the game plan to defend Kyler. Because obviously that starts and ends with Kyler, and you have to defend him a certain way, like we talked about, because he's so unique in that regard. So they're real excited about that, and I believe it. I believe it, and I believe in Robert Saleh. I'll say this as I finish: like Robert Saleh is going to make the absolute difference for this team this year. Okay, I trust Robert Saleh's ability to stop Kyler way more than I trusted Nick Sorensen's ability last year, which was like non-existent. Couldn't stop Kyler last year. In that first game, definitely not the second game. Second game was a wash anyway. We had like 30 guys on injured reserve, but this will be a good Robert Saleh game to really see what he's made of. Hopefully these rookies can stand up and complement these all-pro guys we have on defense. And man, what a week. What an opportunity. My college coach used to say that all the time. It's like, what an opportunity to go 1-0. What an incredible position to be in. This opportunity to go 1-0 this week and really get to 3-0 on the season. Just incredible. So that's all I got for you. 49ers, 24-21, game-winning field goal. Eddie De Niro, 45-yarder as time expires. Book it. It's going to happen. And your Niners will be 3-0. If you're still here, you haven't subscribed yet, please hit subscribe. Share it with your friends. Share it with your enemies. Help me get to 500 before the end of the season. And that's all I got. Go Niners.